Hello and welcome to Old Ways Gardening and Prepping. My name is Teresa. I'd like to welcome you out to the back part of my backyard on this. It's been a beautiful day, a little chilly, sun's going down, so I'm trying to get this video started before it's gone. Now, we're going to be talking about a very important medicinal plant today. One that you have to treat with great respect. Extremely medicinal, but you have to follow rules to use her so that you will be healed and not made sick. I am fixing to collect this beautiful, might not look beautiful to you, but it is to me, big, healthy pokeweed root. If you see how big the stem is, it's an old root. And I don't harvest them just willy-nilly. I take great care in harvesting the older ones. You don't want to harvest all your poke root, because guess what? That means you have taken out your whole supply. I only harvest the big older ones because one root should be enough for what I'm going to be making, which is a pokeweed root tincture. Now, before anybody trips the light fantastic, goes haywire, starts screaming and ranting about how poisonous it is. Yeah, she can make you sick if you don't follow the rules. A lot of fear and a lot of paranoia has been pumped over the years to keep people from being able to use the old ways of healing themselves. My ancestors used the pokeweed to heal themselves and others, and so can you. As long as you follow rules, you'll be fine. And if you don't want to follow the rules, you can go on and, cut this video off and go about your happy little way. Because this is not a medicinal you play with. This is one that's taken and taken seriously. Alright, with that being said, we're fixing to have some fun digging this big, beautiful pokeweed root up. Now, the ground is moist, which will be a big help. I've got some obstacles to move. And of course, there's always the vine. One day I'll get rid of all this pepperberry and this Japanese honeysuckle. Now, with that being done, you see how thick that stem is? She was glorious last year. Now, she has a lot of offspring around her, so I know that I'm not getting rid of my whole source. And you want to dig your pokeweed root up when she has completely died back. You want to do it before they start growing again. Okay. I gotta figure out where the root is. And I want to make sure that I get all of it. And you want to take your time doing it. Hold on a minute, y'all. Okay. Let's see. I got the other part of it. I got most of all of it. There's some left, and I'm going to leave it down there. Because between this and that's going to be plenty for at least 2 jars of tincture. So, we'll get her in a bag. And yes, it's a grow bag. And now I'm going to take time to fill the whole bag. Now, when you go to wash and scrub the roots clean, make sure you have gloves on, y'all. I should have been wearing gloves, but I've done this so many times I know where to grab to pick them up. But you're going to want to wash and clean your roots very well. Don't use no soap, just use water. Scrub them real good, and I'll be seeing y'all here in a bit, back in the shed of many names. Okay, welcome back. We are in the shed of many names, and I have the beautiful poke root cleaned up. She was a huge one. Now down here in the south, roots are a little different. They can get really big, but not very long. It all depends on the plant and where it's growing. I've noticed a lot of people call them invasive. I wish they would get invasive in my yard. I'd be fine with it. With this being said, let's take time to talk about pokeroot. It needs to be treated very carefully and with great respect, because she is a potent medicine. She is a healer as long as you give her great respect and follow the rules. If you don't want to follow the rules, this is not the video, nor the tincture, nor the plant for you. And you need to stop the video now and go about your little way. Now, for those who truly want to learn about pokeroot, she is a healer, has been for centuries, for so long, and there's been a lot of lies spread about this plant, and it all boils down to, well, you know who. The root workers of old, your medicine women, your medicine men, your healers. Yeah, there was a witch hunt in this country for your healers, a lot of times over pokeroot, because they didn't want people taking it because they knew it healed people. And, well, money and greed make people do a lot of things. And they were run out a lot of times because of the church, because the ones wanting the big, you know who, big pharma, to start being used, pumped a lot of money. There's a lot of preachers paid off A lot of church-going people paid off, and they turned their backs on the root workers, those who could heal them. And a lot of lies spread about this plant. She's a healer, and she'll take care of you as long as you pay respect to her. Now, a lot of people know that she's a hardcore lymphatic flusher. She will cause your lymph nodes throughout your body. You don't just have lymph nodes in your throat, y'all. You got them throughout your whole body. Armpits in your breast, if you're women, in your breast, down around your groin. There's a lot of them. I'm not going to sit here and list all of them. Not only does it flush those and help pump out toxins in your body, a lot of women don't know it's a massive healer for women's breast and breast cancer and mastitis. And when the lymph nodes in the breast, men also get breast cancer as well, y'all. It's not just women. A lot of that's not being spoke about either. It heals mastitis, clogged mammary glands, and everything. I speak from experience. I know how well she works for the breast. It also helps with arthritis. It also helps with inflammation. It also helps with multiple sclerosis. Yes, there's quite a few studies out on that one. She is a healer. One of the strongest antibiotics there are. Now, there's other things you can use, and if they don't work, she is the one that you go to. And I'm going to tell you now, y'all hound me. Hound me about dosage amounts. I don't give dosage amounts out until the tincture is ready. I'm going to give a dosage amount right now. 1 drop. If you're not seeing, the healing happen fast enough, you can go to 2, but absolutely no more. And that's 1 or 2 drops per day. That's it. No more. Don't listen to anybody that tells you more than that, because they're wrong. She's potent, and with potency comes great responsibility. And you have to be responsible for yourself and how you take the medicine. I'm not talking about a dropper full. I'm talking about a drop. 1 single drop. Now, like I said, take her with food so you do not get an upset stomach. Also, it's also good to take her kind of on a full stomach or while you're eating. Now, if you go to 2 drops, you don't do that right away. You work with 1 drop for a week. Then you can go to 2. If you start getting cramps or upset stomach or headaches, it just means 2 drops is too much for you. Go back to 1, you're fine. You're not going to die, people. But responsibility is what this is called. Everybody should have this tincture in their medicinal arsenal. Now, with this being said, there'll be a little bit more information in the description box below this video. Now, when washing the root, you wear gloves. And I'm fixing to put gloves on because we're fixing to get busy cutting up the root. Now, the reason why you wear gloves, there is liquid in those, or moisture in those roots, and it will soak through your skin, and you can get very sick from absorbing too much of the root or the medicinal benefits in the root. And when I say wear gloves, I mean wear gloves. Keep an eye on your gloves. If you even feel like there might be a small hole in them or anything, change them. Don't play around with this. Change them. Now, I'm going to do a half a gallon because I have a huge root and I'm not going to waste any of her. Not going to, because I got the root. It means she's not coming back next year. Her beauty is going to be missed. Because when you harvest the roots from a plant, that plant dies. And that's why you have to have great respect when harvesting pokeweed. Because, well, that's one less plant on this earth that can heal people. Great responsibility, y'all. Harvest responsibly. Now, good sharp knife. Let me move the camera down so you can see what we're doing. Okay. There we go. Now, I scrubbed these roots very well. I'm just going to put the little ones in there. Now, imagine only a drop is a dose. You'll be able to pass this tincture down to your children. And there's a good chance your children will be able to pass it down to their grandchildren. So, you don't have to make as much as I am. The only reason I'm making as much as I am is I'm not letting this root go to waste. And no, I do not like to use the dried root. This is one that I want fresh root. And that's enough because it's starting to get too woody. All the little roots. I thought I might have nicked my glove there for a minute. You want to make sure that you do not nick your gloves. And I like to cut mine up into smaller pieces so that the alcohol doesn't have to work as hard to draw out this amazing medicine. And believe me, you need a good sharp knife. Now, you don't have to make it as much as I am. You can make it in quart jars or pint jars as well. But this is one medicine you definitely want to have on hand. And like I said, you want to treat it with respect. And you notice I'm using a cutting board. A cheap little from buck and a quarter tree cutting board. You know why? When I get done, I'm throwing this cutting board away. Well, I'm going to recycle it. But you can't guarantee that you can wash it enough to get the juice out of it because it's plastic. Now, the knife will be fine. Good, hot, soapy water. But use your hand to wash it. Because you don't want to use a sponge or anything, because the sponge can soak it in as well. Okay, let's count this. Hold on a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 years old. Seven years it took her to grow. Now do you see why I said treat her with respect and make sure you don't waste any of it. Definitely keep your shirt sleeves pulled up. And like I said, you want to make sure you harvest her before she starts growing again. Trying to play with the lighting here. But this amount of tincture would last a long while if you was just making it for you and your family. Now, I know several people that get it from me who are responsible, and I don't have to worry about them not following the rules. As long as you follow the rules, you'll be fine. And if you notice that your root is hollow, do not use it. It means it's spent. You want to use the parts that are not hollow. And that way you know there's medicine in it. See, here's one. See that? That's probably where a bug attacked it at one time and it grew around it. Let's see if you'll just want to cut that away. And yep, I'm going to change my glove. I'm trying not to touch my knife handle. You want to make sure you get her good, the roots good and clean. You don't want any dirt in your tincture. There's very few medicinals that I use, that I make, where it comes with a very strong warning to follow the directions. Like I said, it also works for inflammation, arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis. I have now found MS, and I also know it works on several different cancers as well. that's plenty in that jar. So, I know I'll be making up some more. Because, like I said, I'm not letting that go to waste. And yes, I'm throwing my gloves away. Don't try to wash them and reuse them. Now that it's safe, I can get a drink of coffee. If you notice, it's not quite half a jar. It's just a little under. This is going to be plenty potent enough, y'all. Don't go wild with it. Do not go wild with it. This is going to be plenty of poke root in the jar. It is about 3 cups. And like I said, don't use dried poke root. Don't. Just all the medicinal benefits of it is when it's, let's just say, juicy, and it has all the medicinal benefits in it. Now, this is 100% vodka, 100 proof. You do not need to go any higher, y'all. Any higher proof, it'll do more harm than good. Don't use Everclear unless you just really want to do more damage than healing. 100 proof is plenty strong enough. Do not use 80 proof. This is juicy. It is fresh root. 100 proof, y'all. And like I said, Everclear, people use that to, clean spark plugs and stuff. It's not medicinal. 100 proof is plenty enough. And it can be cheap 100 proof. You don't have to buy expensive vodka because it's medicine. You're not going to be drinking it. You're going to be taking it by dropperfuls. Or this one especially by a drop. The other ones, anything else. Yeah, 100 proof. Nothing less, nothing more. There are a few exceptions to the rule, but not many. Now, I've already, because me and the plastic pour control don't get along, and usually it's a struggle to get it off, I take it off. And you're just going to fill up the jar. And I'm going to fill it up to the top. There we go. Now, as you can see, there's all kinds of stuff floating around. Nothing wrong. Absolutely nothing wrong. It's pieces of bark from where you cut it. It's going to be fine. Lid and a band. Screw it on good and tight. Make sure that there are no air bubbles. Make sure that this is agitation, gentle agitation. You don't need to shake it or nothing. Level did not go down. If the level of your vodka goes down any, just top it off. Nothing wrong with that. Let's get our marker. I know some people only want to use labels. That's fine. I never have any trouble writing on my lid. But I also keep everything stacked side by side. I never stack them on top of one another. If you store yours in a cool, dark place, like you're supposed to, your jar will sweat. And that's going to eat a label up. And that's why I don't do labels on the jar. Okay. And we're going to label it poke root tincture. And it's 1/21/23. And like I said, you will see. Let's see if I can get it to focus. See well, you'll see bubbles, but you'll see bits and pieces floating up. That's bark. That's pieces of the root. Go on, bug. Don't worry about it one bit. It's going to be perfectly fine, y'all. Now, cool, dark place. If you have children, make sure it's up, out of the way of children. We know how they are. 8 weeks from the 21st, this tincture's done. It's not going to get stronger. Everything's going to be pickled, y'all. This will last for years and years. We're talking easily. Now, if it was just me using it, oh, I couldn't take all this. Nope. I'd be passing it down to somebody. 1 drop. That's what I take, is 1 drop. Once in a while, I will do 2 drops. That's if I've already done a week's worth of the 1 drop. I'm not joking, y'all. Be serious about this tincture. Don't be scared of the tincture. Be respectful for her potency and how she will heal you. She will heal you. Now, like I said, I'll have more information in the description box below the video. Just look for it. I hope this encourages you to also make your own poke root tincture. Do your research, y'all. Do your research. It's not hard to do. Make sure what you're digging up is poke root. And try to do it to where you only have to do 1 plant. Because, well, when you dig that root up, that's the end of the lifespan of that plant. Have respect. And she will heal you. Now, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them in the comment section below. I will answer them as soon as possible. Y'all continue to make your medicine. Heal thyself. You can do it. And do it while she's still asleep. Because once the leaves come up, it's too late. Because she's taken all her energy to start growing the leaves. Everyone, stay safe and sound. Continue to stock your pantries with food that will sustain you. Don't forget your medicine cabinets. Don't forget your protection. I look forward to seeing y'all in my next video. Y'all take care. And may each of you be safe and may you be blessed. I'll see you soon.